Welcome to Frywall Fridays. It is fall, one of my favorite seasons, not least because it is the high time for mushrooms, including wild mushrooms. So today we're going to make a mushroom ragout, or a mushroom sauce, that we're going to serve over polenta. For our mushrooms, I actually have two types. These are shiitakes that are store-bought, delicious, and this is a maitake, or hen of the woods, that I actually found while hiking the other day. This is a beautiful specimen here. In addition, we have a half of a smallish onion, a few cloves of garlic, some white wine, some stock. We have vegetable stock here, but you can use chicken stock or beef broth. We have herbs that are gonna get mixed in. This is rosemary, thyme, and also the stalks of parsley, which get chopped up, get added relatively early on as opposed to as a garnish. We have some flour for thickening the sauce, and then finally some of the parsley leaves for garnishing the meal. The shiitakes are cultivated, so they're pretty clean. I just need to cut off the stem because it's a little bit too tough to eat. I'm going to put these aside and use them for a stock, and then I'm going to cut the shiitakes just in half like that. Now, my wild hen of the woods, or maitake, was a little bit dirty when I found it. There were some pieces of dirt and so forth, so I went ahead and washed it. I dusted it off, and I let it dry. And now we're ready to chop it up. And again, I'm going to cut it into fairly big pieces here, because as you know, mushrooms, when they cook, they break down and wilt. And we still want to have nice bite-sized pieces, so I'm going to cut it to pieces about like that. You can see we have a pretty big bowl of mushrooms here, and I'm worried that when we cook these, if we do them all at once, they're gonna stew rather than saute. I want them to have a little bit of caramelization, a little bit of maybe even crisp. So we're actually gonna saute these half at a time. So half of the batch, take it out, do the other half of the batch, and then continue with the recipe. I have about a tablespoon of olive oil in a hot pan, and when I add the mushrooms, I'm not going to fuss with them too much. Just try to spread them out and let them cook undisturbed for a couple of minutes so they get a little bit browned. We're going to cook them for a total of about 4 minutes, just until they're barely softened, and stirring them, but really very occasionally. These are ready to come out, and we'll start in with the second batch. The mushrooms are done pre-cooking. At this point, I'm going to let the pan cool off a little bit. We don't want it too hot or the onions are going to burn. The pan now is medium hot. I'm going to add about a tablespoon of butter and then stir in that half onion that I've very finely chopped. This is going to cook gently for about a minute, just until the onions begin to soften. I'll now add in the chopped garlic, let it go for maybe another 30 seconds to a minute. Now I'm going to turn up the heat to full blast and add the mushrooms back in. At this point, we can throw in the herbs, which have been finely chopped. Give those a good stir. And the flour, give that a good stir. And now we can go ahead and deglaze the pan with the white wine. And once that's all evaporated, I'm going to add the stock. Give that a final stir along with some salt and pepper, and we're done. All right, let's get this served up. Wow, still piping hot. So I have some polenta here that I made earlier today. You can use the recipe on the box, or if you're not sure how to make polenta, shoot me an email. I'll let you know how I do it. My family is originally from Romania, at least half of it, so polenta is a big thing in my house. All right, so we got that. I'm going to put a little bit of Parmesan cheese on top, because Parmesan goes on everything. And then some of our beautiful mushroom ragu, just like that. And a little more Parmesan on top. A few leaves of parsley for color. And there you have it. Nothing says fall like a mushroom ragu. Let me wipe the side of this plate here and bid you a good appetite. Enjoy.